I used to be an elementary school teacher,
Mhm.
and I taught actually in a dual language program for a few years as an English as a second language teacher. And then I always was the campus ESL teacher for my grade level. And I really enjoyed the work, and I loved working with kids from other cultures and learning about their backgrounds and languages and things like that. And I stopped teaching to stay home with my family and to try writing as a career. And I kind of missed getting to teach language, and I missed getting to interact with people from other cultures. And that was something that was important that I didn't have anymore. And so I'd been looking around for a little while online to try and find, I was hoping for perhaps some kind of an organization where I could do some teaching as a volunteer. And like, I stumbled across paper airplanes just in a Google search, and I was just shocked because I was like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I was hoping for. It was an opportunity for me to continue teaching, to work with people who are wanting to learn English, and to get to just have that piece of my life back a little bit and have those experiences back while still being able to work from home and work on my writing. So it's been a really lovely thing to be able to have the opportunity to be a part of.
Mhm. Sounds good. Did paper airplanes, let's say, impact your life?
You know, I really think it has in a much more major way than I thought it would.
Can you explain that
So,
for us?
sure. Well, when I was teaching dual language in the United States in the public school system, I got to know my students, but they were quite small. They were 7 and 8 years old. And so I didn't get to know quite as much about their cultures as I would have liked. With paper airplanes, since I get to work with adults, I have been shocked by how profoundly moved I've become. I've always had a lot of sympathy and concern for what's going on in the world. And what paper airplanes gave me insight into is getting to know the people that I work with in the program so deeply, and getting to really understand what their day-to-day lives are like. And I think that if more of the world knew what people are going through, I think there would be a lot more empathy everywhere. Because when you actually get to talk to someone who is a refugee, or is who is currently living in a conflict zone, an active conflict zone, and you talk with these people, and yes, you're teaching them English, and that's great, but even more so, you're sharing across cultures what your lives are like. And when you hear the day to day of someone experiencing those types of struggles, you can't, it changes you. I have a deeper empathy than I thought possible, and it has changed the way I have used my time. I have begun learning more about what is going on in some of these conflict zones and with some of these refugee populations. I have become a different person. I have become kind of a person who shares with others as much as I can about what is happening in the rest of the world. And I also, it's changed the way I donate to charities and what charities I donate to. And it's changed the way I think about people. And in so many ways, I've also been so surprised at how I've traveled, and you when you're traveling, you get to have that lovely experience of realizing that we're all just humans. And that's been great. But then when you talk to someone who's a refugee or in a conflict zone, and you realize that they are just like you, that they are going through things on a daily basis that I can't even wrap my head around. It's an extraordinary experience, and it leaves you changed, and it leaves you with more, I think, energy and passion to do more in this world to help manifest change and do whatever you can to ease the burden that these people have had to suffer through.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I think my question really affects you in emotional way. Sorry about that.
It's hard to not get emotional when you talk about these people and when you get to know them. And the student that I'm working with currently, and I've gotten to work with her for a whole year, and she's in Afghanistan, and she's a woman who is in university and can't go to school anymore. And she's desperately trying to get out of her country so that she can go to school. And this woman is brilliant. And in any other place, she would just be able to excel. But because of her situation, it's extraordinary. It really is. And she is one of the most tenacious and bright and precocious people I've ever met. And I wish nothing but the best for her, and I wish the world needs her. That's the thing that I've noticed about so many of these people that I've worked through Paper Airplanes. They have so much to give to the world, and they desperately want to be able to share their gifts with the world, and the situation that is out of their control has kept them from being able to do so. And I think that's the part that as humans we need to recognize, because we need these people. And it's been really enlightening. It really has. And I've always cared for other people, but putting a face and a name and getting to become friends with these people is just, it is really moving. So it's hard to not get emotional about it, because I feel, I've seen and heard things now that I wouldn't have if I hadn't gone to volunteer with this organization, that I think have changed me for the better.
Okay, let's ask you another question. Do you prefer to share any memory or something funny or something you learned across the program?
I think so. I have as I've been working with my students and I learn a little bit about their culture, like one of the first things I always ask them is about their favorite foods and things that they like.
Mhm.
And it has become a delight, because often when they will tell me what their favorite food is, and it's, food is something that, I don't know, it's a very easy way for people to connect, and for people to understand one another. And one of my great joys is when they tell me what their favorite food is, I will often go try and make it myself. And I will take pictures of it, and I will show it to my students after I've made it and be like, how does it look right? Like, did I do it right? And one time I was trying to make a Syrian dish and I showed it to my student, and he just laughed, because I guess I had tried to look up a recipe for the dish, and I thought it was some type of like a meatball from what he described, and I didn't do it at all correct. And we just had a good chuckle over that, because here I really desperately wanted to like experience like what's it like to eat his favorite food. And he got a big laugh out of seeing me try to cook. I had burned them a little too, which probably didn't help, because I don't think the picture was very attractive either. But yeah, so that's something fun. It's just a goofy little thing that I do, and it's it's a neat way for my students and I to bond over my lack of cooking skills. So
Okay. Oh, and the last question is: do you have any final thoughts about for the individual who considering to join Paper Airplane in future?
So I really think that Paper Airplanes is so special. And I think that if you have the opportunity to be a part of it, you really should give yourself that gift because it's so much more than just helping someone learn English. Yes, it is that. It is helping someone learn English, and it's a wonderful, that alone is wonderful. But to me, I've gotten so much more out of this. I have really learned so much more about people and about the world and about how we are all in this spinning ball together, and we can grow so much by trying to better understand one another and to see the similarities that we have and also the beautiful differences as well, and to just have a lot more empathy for one another. I think it's a really wonderful life-changing experience.
Thank you, Kelly. I really enjoyed the interview. Thank you for your empathy and your emotion. Uh, I don't have the right word to tell you how much we thank you for joining us for the interview, for all the things we are talking about.
Well, it's been my pleasure. I'm so grateful that this organization exists. It's really been a delight. I'm so grateful to get to be a part of it. And it's something I look forward to every week when I have my lesson with my student.
Thank you again, and have a nice night.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. Thank you. Bye bye.